Oh, hello, people of the internet. I made some things. Let's talk about it. Hello, welcome or welcome back. My name is Carla. I am one half of the DottyDolt team. I'm the half that makes all the crochet items. So, this week was a very busy week. Small Human started the kindergartens, and wow. It was a lot. But anywho, I still ended up making some things and working on some other projects that aren't finished yet because they're, of course, larger than I thought they were because that's my always trap. But, anyways, we'll talk about the ones that I finished today. I made a bee dog, no, a loaf bee dog. Sure. And a cute little candy corn ghost. So we'll talk about the bee dog first because that was the one that was voted for in our Instagram stories. This little guy turned out a bit different than I thought he was going to. So what I did was I mashed two patterns together. So there's a cat loaf pattern and then there's a dog loaf pattern, so I just took the two and I combined it together. It turned out really cute. I'm not gonna lie, he is a little derpy, but I think he is adorable, and I made him have a little X butt. But you can definitely tell from the back, he is very loafy. And then the front, his cute little face. I love it. It worked out really well. I also really love these little antennae. They're so cute. It does they're just sewn in there and the ends are knotted. So that's how it stays in there. So if it ever does come out, it'd be easy enough just to loop it back in there. But yeah, he's so ridiculous. I love it. I think he is hilarious. I had to change it. I had to mod it a little bit. I think what my issue was is I should have used worsted weight or something like that on his nose. But instead I used the same black. And so his nose ended up a little bit thicker. I also did the little in the pattern there's a little line down. But when I did it, it didn't look right. So I just made him have a little fuzzy. I also wanted him to have a fuzzy nose because I don't know, I just felt like it was appropriate. So I made him have a little fuzzy nose. Yeah, the yarn that I used the Premier Parfait. They're yellow, and I think this is their gold. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it up above. And then it's just the loops and threads black and loops and threads white on the top. And then this nice little mustardy color, which I'm also pretty sure is Premier, but I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll stick it up there. I'll check it afterwards. But yeah, and then I thought the little kawaii eyes worked quite well on it. And his little antenna it just makes me laugh the entire time. I also shortened his tail because I felt like he needed a little short tail. Spider Dad was trying to convince me before I put the wings and the antennae on. He kind of looked like a hamster leopard? No, hamster lion? Hamster tiger because of his stripes on the top. He was definitely very hamster, and also because he's so small, because of the Premier Parfait, it is just smaller than. Sorry, there's some fluff. It is just a little bit smaller than the Barnett blanket, so he does make it a little tinier. But he's super cute. So reviewing both patterns, going through it. I like the patterns. The only thing that I found with it it was a little bit difficult to figure out which pattern I should be doing. It was like, so some of it was my fault because I was already mashing two patterns together, but in the pattern, so in the bee pattern, it's the bee pattern, there's some other, like a tabby cat or some other cat that has like stripes down it, and then also like the sunflower with that. Oh, and there's also with that there's also like a moth guy, I think, and like a dragonfly. There's a few patterns that are mixed in with the one pattern. Um and I found that it was a little, at first it was a little confusing to figure out which pattern was the right one that I wanted to follow. um because like it would have been nice if the pictures at the top were all grouped together. Like, if you want to make X, these are all of the things that will make that. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Like, it just, there was one picture at the top, but the picture wasn't of like the cat bee. It was of another one, and then the cat bee was at the bottom, and it was a little confusing to know exactly where I wanted to start with what. Um the dog pattern was relatively easy because it was just the dog pattern, and then there were some variations. It just would have been nice in the title, or maybe I missed it too, is entirely possible. Is like if it was just written like, if you want to make the bee pattern, follow X, Y, and Z. So it was a little difficult that way just to figure out which one I was trying to do. But I do find sometimes, like, if it's slightly disorganized or like not organized the way that my brain thinks it should be, because everybody's brain works differently for like, oh, this makes sense of how it all goes together. Everyone's a little bit different. For me, I found it a little bit confusing, but I was still able to like complete it. I would just say, like, maybe not for a beginner, because it might be too confusing to figure out like where you needed to go. But like, pattern overall like wasn't horribly difficult or anything like that. It was the base loaf pattern, and then the slight variations that you needed to make like the striping, or and like the wings were in a separate section, which, like, I understand because there were so many variations, and like, do you really want to write the same pattern over and over again? Sometimes I kind of honestly prefer that. Like, if you do, like, I know that it makes the pattern longer, and then also can make the file, well, will make the file larger, so that can cause some issues with some people. So like, I understand like the things that you need to kind of balance out to make sure that it's not like way too large and nobody can open it. But it would have been nice if things were a little bit more grouped together, but again, I understand that there are going to be variations and stuff like that. But that is one of the things that I personally enjoy in patterns, is like, if you want to make this is all the things that you need to do, not like trying to like hop too many different places. Like, I find that my brain has a hard time to like connect all those things, because it is what it is. And it could also be that I commonly crochet at night, so a little bit on the sleepier side. So I think the differences between the loaf cat and the loaf dog are very minimal. There's a few variations to make it look more doggy like, and I think also too, because I didn't fully go through the dog loaf pattern. There we go. Words. I didn't fully go through the dog loaf pattern to see like exactly what all the differences were, because there are definitely different variations of the dogs that they have in there, which is really cool. I'm excited to go and check it out. And I think more for the loaf dog versus the loaf cat, the loaf dog has a lot more like color changes to be like more classic dog. styles, if that makes sense, and like more classic dog colors, so less variation in like the colors and different things like that. But I liked it. It was easy to like figure out where everything was on the Loaf Dog pattern, so that was good. Like I said, I am excited to go and try out more of just the Loaf Dog, less modding. Cause yeah, I know he looks a little strange, but I just adore him with his little kawaii eyes, and I think he's hilarious. And like, I like this little swoop that we got going on in the front. It's just, and he's very loafy. Like, he looks like a little, very, one of those like tall, high, like pressed loaf bread things. So, all in all, really happy with this. I also enjoyed doing the loaf cat bee pattern. And there was very little like modding that I had to do between like to make the pattern work. So yeah, so this is my, you asked for a bee loaf dog, and this is what you got. So the next pattern I want to talk about. So the next pattern I want to talk about is this little candy corn ghost. It's from Anne Cardaway Art. I'll put it up here. Sorry if I got it wrong. Anyways, she's also on YouTube, and she does have a YouTube tutorial on how to make the ghost. So if you want to go check that out, definitely do that. Otherwise, she does have her pattern on her, all of the things. I think it's like Etsy own page, all those kinds of things. So it's like a 18-in-1. So there's a bunch of different like hat accessories that you can get. There's also like a devil and an angel and a few devil variations and stuff like that. Super cute. I'm excited to try more of them. I only so far tried out this one, the little candy corn guy, but works up so fast, which is great. I messed up. I had taken a picture of where the color changes were, and then I went to where the pattern was, and I went to go edit, or like I went to go like mark in where the color changes were, and I swapped the yellow and the orange. So I did yellow first, and then I did orange, and then I was like, I messed up. So I had to pull that back out and redo it again. For my colors, I used the Loops and Threads Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggles. There we go. So the white is a little bit thicker than the Premier Parfait, but I think it kind of worked out well, and I think it kind of balances out. If I were to make him again, which I'm definitely going to do it because it made up so quick, I think for this specific color combination, like I like the amount of color in each one, but I did change the bottom just a little bit. I put in, for the bottom ruffle, I did a half double crochet, half double crochet, just because I wanted to make my little swoops more swoopy. You don't obviously need to do that, but that was like the variation that I made to it, just so it was more swoopy. And I think if it was less swoopy, like you would have more like yellow on the bottom. And like I'm not unhappy with the amount of yellow on the bottom. Like I think it's great. I would just like to see just a little bit more, and I think that it just comes down to the size of yarn that I was using, just because the Loops and Threads is a little bit thicker than the Premier Parfait, which is fine. Like, again, I'm happy with how it turned out. I love this orange. I can't think of what the color is, but I'll put it up above. And this yellow turned out really nice, so I'm super happy with that. And I love the thickness of his hands with the like loops and threads there. It worked out really well. The pattern, I think maybe it took me a little bit longer. I think it maybe took me in total probably about 45 minutes to complete. But that was because I also had to like rip out a whole section and redo it. So yeah, so it took me a little bit longer to do it, but like I'm so excited to make more of these, and I'm really, but yeah, this pattern was awesome, really quick to make, and I think now that I've made it, it will be like a lot faster to make. I'm really excited to make the ones. There's like this little bat hat one I'm really excited to make, and there's also like a little cat one, and there was a pumpkin one. I For us anyways, I don't know if it was just like the location that we're like that we normally vend at or what it is, but like we've tried to sell like just pumpkins in the past, and they haven't done overly well for us. It could be our price point, it just could be where we were, or just what we had just didn't jam with people. It's all entirely possible. But like I do want to have some form of pumpkin at our spooky markets, because I just like we have it in our felt, but I would just also like to have it in our amigurumis. So I'm really excited for the little toque that's a little pumpkin. I think it's so cute. So cute. But yeah, so I'm excited. This week I should have a little bit more time to make a few more things, and also if I'm making these, I'm gonna have like a whole little army of these, and I feel like these will almost replace my octopuses for our markets. Because again, works up so fast. Would definitely recommend it. All in all, this little ghosty guy, absolutely love it. The pattern is, for me, it was a little confusing just the way that it was written out. I did get there in the end, of course, because I mean, he's together. It is a beginner friendly pattern for sure. At least for the base. I'm not sure about the hats and stuff like that. They may be a little like there may be a few more stitches and stuff like that that might be a little bit more difficult. But if you stay tuned, next week I will definitely make more hats. Or make more ghosts with hats. So, keep your eyes out, and we'll see you next time. Okay, bye.